All right. How's everybody doing? Okay, looks like there's some people coming in now. JT, how you doing? Can you hear me? B Kahuna, you're at work. You'll be listening. Okay, man, that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess those earbuds are good for something. Hi, Jan. How you doing? All right, give this a few more minutes. See if some more people pop in here. I know a lot of people have been saying they've been having some issues with move my mic. Getting notifications of my videos. So I sent out a bunch of stuff today. I don't know if people got it or they didn't. I did a short video. I don't know what's going on. Mute my phone. All right. So JT, at least we're finally getting some warmer weather for once. The last couple live streams that I've done, it's been pretty chilly on Florida standards, huh? Yeah, Super Bowl parties and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully maybe a few more people pop on. I'm showing 6 right now, so we'll give it a little bit longer and we'll get going on this. So who's going to win the Super Bowl today, guys? Who are you rooting for? I think it should be a really good game. One of the best young quarterbacks and one of the best old quarterbacks. So should be pretty interesting. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to give this another minute and see who pops on here, and we'll have a little chat. Today's Super Bowl. I quit keeping up on it when I quit catering. Oh, I hope that's not true. I'm not ready for another polar vortex. I've had enough of those this year. I know up north they're getting snow. My sister-in-law lives on Long Island, and we're just getting pounded again. They can keep it. Oh, Dan. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Jan, I'm not into sports. Love to play them, but not watch them. Huh. Well, I see I got most of my moderators are on. And I think, Dan said it's snowing again there too. Wow. You getting that Arctic cold also? I know Big Kahuna's at work, and he's listening in. So I don't know if he'll actually be participating in the chat, but we shall see. All right, so the topic today was, what did we learn from 2020? I mean, it was one hell of a year for everybody. Everybody, I think of a lot of people learned a lot of different things about themselves, about the way they prepare, about their finances. I think they really was an eye opener for a lot of people. A lot of people thought that this would never happen to this country, that we'd never be in this same situation. Just check, see if anybody else has come in. But in all reality, we're not exempt from things that happen in other countries. We would like to think that we are, but we're not. We're no different than anywhere else. Yes, our laws are different, our constitution, we have good paying jobs in this country. We have freedoms. We have all types of different things that other countries don't have, but that doesn't mean that we're exempt from some nasty pandemic coming through and doing what it did to the whole country. A matter of fact, for the whole world. But we're talking about what we've learned in this country, since it's something that we're just not used to dealing with. You had the whole, when everything first started, a lot of people were just in disbelief. They couldn't believe that this was happening. They didn't believe that, it was going to take over like it did, and how it was going to affect everybody's daily lives in such a ungodly way, in a sense. You look at what it did for the working class folks that are out there. It put thousands of people out of work within a month or so. It devastated the grocery stores. I mean, they couldn't keep up with the demand, so we all saw the empty shelves everywhere. Now we're still dealing with people that are unemployed, that are trying to make ends meet. People that thought that they probably never should have an emergency fund are probably really rethinking that one and making sure that, okay, yeah, it's good to have a checking account, a savings account, but it's great to have an emergency fund also for situations like this. A lot of people are looking for work anywhere they can find it. A lot of people are still out of work, especially, here in Florida, because, it's mostly dependent on tourism. So when you depend on one thing to employ millions of people, and when that one thing is disrupted, this is what happens. And people don't have anything to fall back on, because the whole state of Florida is really based on tourism. They want people to come here from all over the United States and from all over the world. We're one of the largest destinations for vacation, coming here on vacation, especially people with kids. They want to come down here. They want to go to the theme parks, the beaches, the Space Coast. They want to see things. They want to do things, stuff that they don't have in their own, cities, towns, wherever they come from. So when something happens and all of a sudden things get kind of out of place, and there's a wrench that's thrown into the whole equation here, this is what we end up with. Now, things that I have learned over the past year or so of 2020 was that you have to be prepared, that you definitely need a emergency account at your bank, or maybe you don't like using banks some type of an emergency fund to fall back on if something like this happens. Because we're not out of the woods yet, folks. This is still going on. They're still talking all these different variants. They're still in the process of trying to get more vaccines out. I know I saw on the news last night that Johnson & Johnson, they had put in for an emergency request to get their vaccine out there. But until things change, we're still going to be in the same boat. And from what I'm really seeing, from another thing that I have learned is you don't take things for granted. We've been so used to being able to do whatever we want in this country, and now we have limitations to what we can do. And I see more limitations coming in the near future. Let's just talk about travel. Per 2020, you could travel anywhere you wanted. If you want to go overseas, you had to have a passport. But rather than that, if you wanted to travel domestically right here in the United States, you buy a plane ticket. As long as you got your driver's license, you get on a flight and you can fly to wherever you want to go. So those type of things were always just like a give me. We all just took it for granted that we could do what we wanted to do. And now you're starting to see, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to the news or not, but now you're starting to see what is coming down the pike and how they want to start changing things and making it to where you have to have a vaccination if you want to fly. You also have to have proof, so you want to make sure you got that card. You're going to have to take a test 3 days before you fly to your destination and 3 days before you fly back to your destination. And that's really a pain in the neck for some people. You fly to a small town or someplace, and now you have to find someplace where you can get this test. Now, I'm hoping that they are going to come out with these self-test kits. They have been talking about that, where you can take the test with you, and then you can take it 3 days beforehand, and they're talking that's going to cost about $30, which, I would pay that if I wanted to travel. If you take the test, you can show them the proof and there you go. But there just seems to be a lot of loopholes in that. So that's just one thing that's really coming down the pike that we have learned from 2020 is just not to take things for granted. I think another great thing that we have learned from 2020 is to cherish our family members, because I know a lot of us, you haven't maybe been able to be around any family members. I know I haven't. A lot of people haven't. The holidays, birthdays, births, any of that kind of stuff. You can't just travel for leisure, anything like that, and I think one of the biggest eye-opening things for a lot of people from 2020 is how it changed how Americans live their daily day-to-day life in this country. And I think it's going to be quite a while before we actually get back to where we were. Let me just check the chat here and see if there's people in here. Blue Ridge Prepper, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, anybody else? The Preparedness guy, hey, how you doing? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. I know for a lot of people are probably sucking down beers right now, eating some brats or whatever, and getting ready for the Super Bowl. Okay, Blue Ridge Prepper, glad I've got my traveling out of my system when I was younger. Yeah, I guess it's one way to look at it. I haven't got there yet. So I have some traveling that I want to do. I want to do this year in October. I want to get back up to Vermont and see some people and actually meet my grandson. The Bubba News. Good afternoon, all. Saw this on my subscription. Very cool. All right. I'm glad you got notified. Thank you for stopping in. Do appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. All right. So if you guys all got anything you want to say, you got any questions or anything, just do me a favor. Put it in all caps so it pops out at me so I can really see it. But if you got anything you'd like to add, maybe what you, how 2020 affected you, or what you think of 2020, besides, it was just a bad year, chime in. Jan says, I've learned that even though I've prepped for years, I was nowhere near where I should be. I use both checks to fill in the gaps. That's a good point. Or used to have freedoms. Can't speak our minds anymore. Yeah, there's a lot that we really have to be real careful on what we talk about, especially as creators on YouTube. And you people probably really know that, we really have to watch what you say so you don't get flagged or smacked on the hand, or worst case scenario, they turn your account off on you. So it's like you really can't come on here and say what you want to say. That just doesn't happen. So, it's just a whole big mess. And it just seems like, you got to watch certain words. You got to watch, everything. Daniel, too many overly sensitive, angry people today. Amen, brother. I agree. It's just some people, I think, just need to take a chill pill and calm down a little. There's things that we can control, and then there's things we just can't control. And people really need to realize that, we don't make all the rules and regulations. And unfortunately, I don't like that idea either, but it is what it is. Blue Ridge Pepper, first time here. Well, I hope you keep coming back, man. Jan, I'm getting to see my sister tomorrow, first time in almost a year. Well, good for you. That'll be a great thing. I'm sure you're really going to enjoy that. That's probably another thing that really played on a lot of people, was the mental part. And I did do a video on that. It didn't do that well. Some people didn't, I don't think, really like the idea. But when it really boils down to it, it's the truth. Some people hate facing the truth. They don't like facing the facts. They don't like facing the truth. And the truth is the mental part of this whole thing that plays on your mind on a daily basis is some days gets overwhelming, and it gets really tough. For everybody, it's just something they don't want to deal with. It's another one of those things that us as Americans just aren't used to. Preparedness guy, emergency fund is so important. Yes, it is. Blue Ridge Pepper. Hubby and I had to close our grooming shop last year. Won't survive at a second time. Believe it or not, some of our clients gave us donations to help keep our doors open. Oh, that's really cool. If you got some, if you have your own business or something, there's a lot of people that really, we try to support like the local restaurants and stuff, if we do like a DoorDash order or something, because a lot of them went to DoorDash right after this happened because some of these places weren't, on there yet. And I think they realized that if they had that delivery service, that they were able to get more business. So we tried to help out a lot of the local businesses, and especially the places that we love to go to eat that we can get deliveries from. We try to order from them and help them out. Preparedness guy, I learned that redundancy doesn't just apply to gear and supplies. It applies to everything, including income, sources of information, food sources, etc. Becoming self-sufficient in every way. That's a very, very good point. Very good point, preparedness guy. And I totally agree. For some people, being self-sufficient in every way is a huge challenge, but I think it was a very big eye-opening experience that we're all going through that has caused a lot of people to sit back and really evaluate their whole lifestyle and what they do and how they spend their money and what they're planning for, and they don't want to be in this same boat again, if you get what I'm saying. So I think you're going to see a lot more people try to be self-reliant on themselves. When I was a kid growing up, my father always used to tell me, the only person you ever rely on is yourself. I heard that I don't know how many times. Now, that's not to say that you don't rely on family members, friends, and anything like that. But the point that he was making is you always rely on yourself. And the other thing that I was always told a million times was you listen to your gut. Whatever your gut tells you to do, that gut feeling you get, that's what you go with. Never second guess it, because it'll come back and bite you in the rear end. But I was raised in a different time. A lot of these kids nowadays, I tell you, they don't like the word no. They think they can do whatever they want, and they're spoiled rotten. They don't have any respect for a lot of things, and they think that, we owe them something. Well, I hate to break it to them, but nobody owes anybody anything as far as I'm concerned. When in this world, it's a dog eat dog world. You either survive or you don't. You got to learn how to deal with situations like a normal human being and handle criticism and be able to adapt, adjust, and stay ahead of the game. This way here, you survive. Let's see here. The Bubba News, how you doing? Southern Hospitality. Probably depends on how much money the YouTube creator makes for YouTube. Makes sense. Well, yeah, I'm obviously the more people that your more subscribers you have, I think the more that YouTube really wants to push your stuff. They talk about that golden number of 1,000. Well, that's when they start to, you can start doing your lives, and you can start doing things of that nature, and you start getting, you can get money from, like the commercials and stuff that, to pop up on all the videos that you watch, but, and super chats and that type of stuff. But until you get to be a huge channel, you're not making like thousands of dollars. It's just not there. You have, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of like my job. Okay. When you start off, now I'm a union guy. Now, a lot of people don't like unions, but it is what it is. But when you start off, you're the low man on the board. You have to work your way up to get to be the top man on the board. It doesn't take, you can't do it in a month or two. It takes you a span of years to do that. You look at a channel like AP, Alaskan Prepper. You know, I mean, I love the guy. I love his channel. And he's the really, between him and Survival Living are the two that really got me into doing YouTube. So, but if you scroll, this is what I like to do, folks, and I would urge everybody to do it, and because it's really interesting and it's kind of fun to do. If you're ever bored, you just want to do something, maybe get a good laugh or something, go to one of your favorite YouTube channels and scroll all the way back to their very first video, and then watch that. Then scroll forward, say, especially someone like, say, AP that's been on here for, I'm not even sure, what, 8-10 years, something like that, somewhere in that neighborhood, quite a while, I believe. But anyways, then you scroll forward like 6 months and you see how it changes from the way they do their videos and their learning. It's a huge learning curve, and you're constantly learning new things and how to do things, what to say, how to talk. A lot of people are camera shy. A lot of people are shy, period. So, you know, this isn't really their type of niche. They do more of like the blogs and the podcasts and things of like that nature, because you don't see me. I'm not really shy. I've never been shy in my life. So I've always been the outgoing person. I can walk into a room, not know anybody, and by the end of the night, I will know everybody. So X22 report had almost 1 million, and they were taken down months ago. Now go to their .com. Whoa, it's jumped. Lois Young, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Let's see here. JT, I was always taking care of myself. Mom was dying and dad was always working or going to school. Made me strong. Yeah. It makes you grow up quick and makes you realize a lot of things. It makes you, as you get older, it makes you appreciate, even though I'm sure those were very difficult times, because I went through some, you know, kind of the same thing, but it makes you appreciate the knowledge that you learn from the situation. And in my opinion, it makes you a better, stronger person. All right. So the Bubba News asks, survival preparedness, what do you think is coming this year? So far, it appears that the Canadian government parliament released the timeline of what's coming. Seems to be pretty spot on so far. I'm going to have to say I've got some videos coming out this week. One of them is on the price of food and the research that I've done on that. I put some numbers and stuff that were just released on January 25th out. I think the price of food is going to keep increasing. AP just did a great video the other day, and he was talking about the price of inflation on the whole food, all the food and everything else, and why it could be out of certain people's price ranges that they won't be able to afford to start prepping. And that's why a lot of us are pushing to start prepping now. I think that's going to be one big thing. I also believe that you're going to see a huge change in the way that we do our daily lives. Meaning, I think they want to try to get this down with this whole vaccination process that they're doing. I am not going to be surprised if you do not have your vaccination card. Now, they said this morning on the news, on 2 different networks that I was watching, they said that 25% of American people do not want to get the vaccination. But I believe that it's going to come down to where you're going to either have to get the vaccination or you may not be able to even get in a grocery store without it. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with some type of a scanning system. They're already putting this into the new passports that are coming in out. I think starting next month, they will have, it's a regular passport. And then when you flip to the back page, it's going to be your medical part of your passport with all your vaccination information on that. And it's going to be loaded into their system so that, I found this quite interesting, folks, they can take a scanner or phone or whatever. There will be a barcode on that. They can scan that at any given airport or travel destination that you are going, and they'll be able to pull it up on a screen and see exactly what you have had, when you had it, and who gave it to you. All your information will be loaded right into that. I mean, I understand that they have to try to change some stuff, especially if you're traveling overseas or something like that. But some of this stuff, it just seems like it's getting a little far-fetched for me. But like I said before, we don't make the rules. And if something happens and you did want to travel overseas or something, you're going to have to abide by them. Oh, I just jumped again. What is up with this thing? Julie, good to see you. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Survival preparedness. Who do you like in the game today? That's a good question. I'm kind of hoping for Kansas City in a sense, just because he's a young quarterback. I know he won last year. I think Brady's going to pull it out just because it's Brady. I mean, he's one of the great all-time quarterbacks. You can't take that away from him. A lot of people don't like the guy, but in a sense, also you have to realize, well, the man plays really well under pressure. So even if they're down, I wouldn't count him out until the fat lady sings, if you know what I'm saying. Loretta Winters, how you doing? Glad to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Lois Young, guess I won't be flying anymore. Well, I think there's a lot of choices that a lot of people are going to have to make. I think a lot of it's going to come down to your, concerts, any sporting events, anything like that. I mean, they're already talking about all this. I'm not making this up. This is what is on the news on a daily basis. There's people sitting behind desks and computers that are figuring out how they can turn around and, in my opinion, make our lives a little miserable, if you want to put it that way, or force you to get the vaccine. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to get it. If I have to get it, so I need to be able to fly. So if I need to fly, then I guess I'm going to have to get it. There's just no way around it. There's no sense to buck the system. They've already talked about lawsuits and everything else, and all the top lawyers totally believe that they won't go anywhere because, quote, it's a pandemic. So they basically can make the rules and regulations as they go along. We're just along for the ride, folks. Buckle up, get you some popcorn. Ain't much we can do. The Bubba News. I read today where the TSA is teaming up with the CDC to make sure that all flyers wear double masks when does the madness end. 3 layers, 7 layers, etc. Sheesh. Yeah, I totally agree. The one thing that I do know is if you do have a N95 mask, they say that is, that's one of the best you can get. Now, whether they're available yet or again or not, I don't know. I know before all the, as you want to say, shit hit the fan, I did order N95 masks, so I do have some. The thing that they're talking about is they don't want people just wearing like a single layer mask because it really doesn't block a lot. wearing a double mask, I don't think, and it's hard enough to breathe through a regular mask. And then if you want to double it, forget it. You're going to have people dropping. Are they going to drop the oxygen mask down inside the plane? So as you're flying along, you can put that mask on too, so you can breathe. I mean, that's just a great question. I don't know. What do you people think? That's what should happen. You get on, you put the oxygen mask on. You're not breathing anybody else's air. So what's the big deal? You're wearing a mask, right? I mean, fresh air, they should supply it. Then there'd be no problems. It's built in. It drops right from the ceiling. Tell you, we're onto something here. All right, let me get back in the chat here. Then they'll say you can't go to the doctor's, hospital, any government offices, etc. I mean, yeah, there's going to be all types of. Jan, as long as they don't restrict interstate travel by land, I'm good. I don't fly, never have, never will. Well, I've pondered that too. Unfortunately, where I want to go is 1,500 miles from me, so it's so much easier to get on a plane and fly. Or I guess I could just do the next best thing and move back. But that isn't something that's probably going to happen until I retire, and then it's still based on a lot of different things. That's just an option. The Bubba News, you aren't even given a choice in vaccines. You get what they have in stock at the time, Pfizer or Moderna. The ticker symbol for Moderna is mRNA of all things. Yeah, you kind of get whatever, what they have at hand. It's not like you can pick and choose. Because I don't think they really don't get to pick and choose what they get. They get what the government sends them. That gets distributed to them. And then from there, it's, they're going to give you a shot one way or the other. Well, that's quite interesting, Bubba News, where interstate travel state to state will end April 30th, military checkpoints, etc. Yeah, except for e-commerce. They won't stop that. The trucks have to roll. If the trucks stop, I hope everybody's prepped and ready, because you're not going to have a damn thing at the grocery store. So unless you have some way to grow your own food, you're going to be SOL. So let's hope that's not going to happen. I don't see how they could stop the trucks. It's literally impossible. Talk about crippling the whole United States. Forget it. It'd be a done deal. I have asthma and can hardly breathe. Had another lung CT done Friday. This is total crap. Well, JT, I hope you're feeling better. That's scary stuff there. Debbie, good to see you. Scroll down through here. Montana's on? I didn't see him. There he is, Montana Grizzly. Hey, how you doing? Minus 17. Well, you can just keep that minus 17. The snow I can deal with. Minus 17, nah. Louis Young, I have been asked how much to prep. I tell them to prep till you can't. Well, this is true. You just got to make sure, if people are asking you, you just got to make sure that, they have the space for it to store it properly, so that they're not wasting their money. That's the biggest thing I try to get across. I have a video coming out on Monday about dehydration. I'm going to get back into, I have my dehydrator. I just haven't used it much. There's just been so much stuff going on, and I just kind of, got stuck on a shelf, but I'm going to start dehydrating again. So that'll be a pretty interesting video. I talk about a lot of the pros and cons between dehydrating your own, say, fresh vegetables and stuff compared to canned goods. So, you all can, you can chime in on that. On Wednesday, I have one coming out on the Great Depression and what we learned from that. And if people are looking for things to prep in case something major happens, let's just face it, folks. The economy that we live in right now is just, the national debt is the scary part. That's what worries me. Okay. We were up to, at the end of Trump's presidency, we were at 27 point some odd trillion dollars. It's just an ungodly figure. Okay. Now we're looking to do another stimulus package of almost another 2 trillion. So now we're up to 29 trillion, which might as well just round it off and say 30, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty damn close to that. How long can our economy and our government and the financial network keep running on such high deficits? It's only a matter of time. And when it crashes again, it's going to make I believe it's going to make the Great Depression look like a walk in the park. For one, we have millions more people in this country than what we did during the Great Depression. And if people really think that the government's going to be there to hand them out food and take care of them, well, they got another thing coming. So there's another good video for you guys to watch. I list off a lot of things that during the Great Depression that were rationed, that were hard to get, and everything else. So if people are looking to prep, or people are looking to start prepping, those are some good things to start with, because as history has told us, even in the 1940s, when they came out and they rationed things again right before World War II, Pearl Harbor and all that whole era there in the 40s, a lot of the same things that were rationed during the Great Depression, well, they were rationed again in 1940. So I'm a big history guy. And if you really think about history and the way things go, it all comes back around, folks. So tell people, or watch the video, The Great Depression, on Wednesday. That it's a really good video. I did put a little video in there to explain a lot about the Great Depression and what happened and the snowball effect and everything. I think you'll all enjoy it. I think it'll help a lot of people out. Fuel, food, and supplies, etc. This meeting regarding the Great Reset is in May. As of now, I was researching yesterday. Hopefully they delay it until fall. Who knows? Yeah, that's a whole nother. I'm not really so sure that this year is going to be much better than last year. But who knows? I guess time will tell, right? I mean, like I said, we're along for a ride. -17 is great. Why? You can put flour, pasta, etc. outside in plastic bags and then put them in a 5-gallon bucket with lids instead of wasting freezer space. You got it, man. There you go. That's using your head and thinking, I always thought when I lived up north and it got that cold, it was someplace good to store my beer. But I like your idea too. See, there's always a plus side to the different aspects of the weather. I mean, down here you have the heat and everything else. It gets so hot. If you had to heat up something, you could just set it out in the sun in the summertime here in Florida, and I guarantee you within a few hours you'll have a hot meal. Whereas in Montana Grizzly, I mean, look at what he does. He puts it outside. It freezes, it's -17. I mean, anything below zero is just freaking cold. So, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, maximizing the space in your freezer for something else, and you're accomplishing something. So, I mean, it is what it is. So far, Dan, 2021 sucks. Yeah, I haven't really. There's just not too much excitement. JT use mullein leaf. You can make tea or smoke it. I prefer smoking it. You have to double filter the tea. Yes, I have. Never tried it. Huh. Beer Jew. Hey, how you doing? Glad you could stop in. Thanks for stopping in today. I appreciate it. Red and Jen. Yes. No, we have a lot of bears in Montana. Bear Jew. I did not know bears were Jewish. Okay, come on. Oh. So let me throw this question out here. I mean, right now we've got about 25 people on here. What do you think the number one different thing in 2021 is going to happen that's going to maybe take people by surprise? Anybody have any ideas besides some of the stuff we've already talked about? Has anybody, seen anything or heard anything? Grand solar minimum. Yes, we are in a grand solar minimum, Bear Jew. Mega earthquake. We're expecting to increase along with activity increasing soon with the magma moving. I wouldn't be surprised to see an 8.0 or greater. Well, yeah, that is one thing. I'm kind of interested to see if we have here in Florida, if we have a overly active year again in our storms. We were very fortunate in Florida last year. We got grazed by one, I believe it was, and it was really no big deal. The Gulf took the brunt of all the major storms and stuff. So, it's only a matter of time these things come back around. See, that's again where I fall back with history. Everything repeats itself. A lot of people, they don't believe, things happen that way and everything else, but the proof's in the pudding there. If you actually do a little research in history and things of that nature, pick any topic you wish and do some research on it, and you can see how it has evolved in history. Honey, okay? Let's take honey, for instance. In history, all the way back into the pyramids, they had honey. They used honey. They used it for all different types of things, okay? 3,000 years later, it's still here, and it's still being used for a lot of different things. Just saying, you can pick any little topic, and if you do a little research. Love Montana farm yield. JT, I'm the only one in my family that hasn't. Oh, your stepmother's second cousin. Cool. Running 45, I expect the market to crash. Silver will go crazy, and the government will use all kinds of excuses to lock us down. Well, I think they're already trying to push that whole silver thing like they did with GameStop there. I don't know if they put a stop to it or not, but yeah, I mean, there's just been some crazy stuff going on that people are kind of take it on their own. All these, because anybody can go on the stock market now. So if you get a group of people and all of a sudden they want to push, say, a certain company, product, whatever it may be, on the stock market, and there's a lot of these big groups out there of these guys that your normal everyday Joe that plays around in the stock market, but if you get enough of them and they all buy into something, yeah, it's going to boost the prices and everything else. And I heard they were trying to do it with silver, but I also heard that they were trying to put a stop to it. I don't know what happened. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I'll have to check into that. Famine in the U.S. Windstorms increasing, dust bowl scenario again, maybe in the plain states. Also, the sun isn't yellow anymore. It's white the past few weeks. Crazy. Well, the famine in the USA is already here. I mean, look how many people are still in these very long lines to get food. That is taking place now, and unless they can get this country totally back opened up, that ain't going to change. And if anything, it can get worse. Now, see, you already have the airlines threatening, but that, if they don't get more money from the government, which I do not agree with, these huge companies that this country keeps handing out to these companies that make millions and billions of dollars is just bullshit. Sorry. Don't mean any language. Don't want to offend anybody, but that's just how I feel. It's a very touchy subject with me. I don't think they need to learn to live within their means. There's no reason why they still can't fly planes without having the government hand them another $5 billion. Maybe you fly less planes to one destination. I mean, from here, okay, from Orlando to New York. I can't tell you how many flights there are a day from every airline. Well, if the planes aren't full, one would think a little common sense. Well, let's cut the flights in half, fill the planes up, and save some money. But, it is what it is. That's a real touchy subject with me. I'm not into the government keep handing out billions and billions of dollars to all these corporations. Market to crash after Christmas. Honey has doubled in price. In 2019, a gallon of honey was $40. Last year in 2021, honey was $80. Yep, you're going to see all these prices going through the roof. It's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy what is going on and how much everything is going up. The only thing that I have found that still hasn't changed yet is Walmart chicken breast family pack is still $1.99. Everything else is going up, but that's still the same. But sometimes you wonder where those chickens are coming from, right? I mean, come on. Everybody else was thinking that too. Hey, have a good day, Daniel. I'll give you a buzz later. Sorry, not IOUs will never get you if it's paper. Later, Daniel. Much love. You better not touch mine. It's a government 401k. Every government employee would march on DC. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. I agree, JT. Joe Cohen. Hey, how you doing, Joe? I wonder what happened to you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Haven't seen in my videos. Hey, Joe, did you get moved to Florida? Frankenstein food. For you that don't know, Joe went through a really lot of stuff. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Joe, but Joe went through a really lot of stuff. He was living in New York City when this all hit him and his bride, I think is how he described her. And they were having a really hard time. A lot of us were really concerned. I know Alaskan Prepper was. I reached out to him. I was willing to try to send a package of, care package or something to him. I was just really concerned. And finally he was able to get some food. And last I heard that he was going to be tracking down here to Florida somewhere. And lo and behold, here he is. He's on my page today. Joe, I'm so glad that you made it and that hopefully you're doing well and enjoying the Florida weather compared to New York. What percent water is in those 199 pound? That I have no idea. I'll have to look into that. Never really thought about that. Joke, I couldn't sign in as they didn't recognize my new location. Just got a new password. Well, I'm glad, Joe. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're doing well because I've always been thinking about you. I think I even went back to one of my last videos that you commented on, Joe, and I commented on your comment just to see if you got it and if you were doing okay. Yes, the government has and will confiscate gold. I do not know about silver. Well, you know how you see on a lot of different channels how people go out and they bury like their food supplies in different locations, which is kind of difficult to do here in Florida because our water table is so freaking high. You can dig down 3-4 inches and you hit water. Survival Living did a nice video on that and showed how to do that. But maybe people need to start taking some of their valuables and hide them somewhere, if you know what I'm saying. Jan, I do storage meals on Thursday, trying out new recipes to see what works and what doesn't. That's a good idea. Delray Beach. Joe, so you did make it to Delray. That's where you told me you were going. Good for you, sir. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you made it on here, and I know you're fine. I was so worried about you and the wife and everything else, but I'm so happy that you're doing good and you're out in New York. So the Bible talks about gold being confiscated, I believe. Yes, the Bible does talk about the gold being confiscated. Any type of metals and that type of nature. Military will go door to door and will use ground penetrating training radar. Well, depending on where you live, let's just say if you live out of a major city, I don't know. There's probably ways around that because I know there's ways you can block radar. So I think we could figure a way around that. I don't have any physical silver bars or anything, just silver coins. Maybe you should get some before you can't. Yeah, then maybe you're right. All right, we're getting up to about 58 minutes. I got 25 people in here. So I wanted to talk real quick about the next giveaway. Now, I ordered it and I was hoping to have it by today, but I don't have it yet. But the next giveaway is coming up soon. I think you guys are really going to like it. It is a survival product. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I don't want to ruin it for everybody. If I do get it, hopefully, I'm hoping I get it this week. I thought I would have it by Friday, but it didn't show up. So hopefully I do get it this week. And but what we're going to do is I'm pushing almost to 1,500 people, 1,500 subs on my YouTube channel here, which I thank everybody for everything that you've done for my channel and supporting it and sharing the videos and anything that you guys have done to help me grow. I totally appreciate it. Also, I have big plans for a giveaway for when I hit 2,000. I'm growing slowly, but I'm growing. So I'm going in the right direction. It's just going to take me a little bit of time. So I do have really big plans for for me hitting 2,000 that I'm hoping to release at the same time, at least the information and what it is, because I already have everything for that. But I don't want to release that yet because that's down the road. The one I want to do now. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is doing a video for next week, not this coming week, after next week's live, and putting the products and everything in there on that. And next Sunday, when we meet at 2:30, seems to be, I've got a lot more people than I did last week. So we'll go with 2:30. It won't be Super Bowl or anything. Maybe more people will be on. But anyways, in this way here, everybody gets a chance to see what the products is. There will be a bonus product that will be included in that. But I'm not going to tell you what the bonus product is. It will be a surprise for the winner of the free giveaway. And then when I hit 2,000 subscribers, I am going to be doing a really, really good giveaway. I think whoever wins it will really love what it is. And hopefully it helps somebody in the right direction to get you started into your survival mindset. So let's just jump back in here, see if anybody else new has jumped in. Bubba News, Survival Preparedness, and all in chat. You are awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't care about the Super Bowl. All right, JT, I'll see you over there at AP's. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner. Hope you're feeling better. All hail King Biden. Thanks to Bubba News. All right, so I know everybody wants to get going. AP does come on in 30 minutes, so make sure you switch over there and catch his live stream. He's always got something great. If you didn't catch his video this morning that he released on the pressure canning of the raw meat, that was a really good video. I'm not into pressure canning, but I'm thinking about maybe having to get involved in that. So, all right. So I would just like to thank everybody for tuning in here. Joe, it was really good seeing you. I'm glad you popped in. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing really well. I've been really wondering about you for quite a while. And I hope everybody has a great week. Next week, I'm going to have more information on the giveaway. Unfortunately, I didn't receive what I'm giving away, so I just don't want to talk about it. I want to have it in my hands to show you. So we're going to have to do it then. And until next week, everybody stay safe. You keep prepping. Keep your head above water. Keep swimming, because that's the only way that we're going to survive. If we're all in this boat together, we got to keep paddling to shore. So on that note, y'all stay safe. Survival preparedness for beginners. I'm out.